The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
It's a Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Think of all that we will share. Disney updates and fandom will take you everywhere. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters that will be together. Oh, 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 join our Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Memories of friends and family, everybody is welcome. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters guiding you through Disney. Together, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 14th episode of Neverland Clubhouse. This is the Disney podcast where we go to different park lands to share Disney stories, news, and what's going on with Disney+. I'm Kelly, and this is my sister, Courtney. Hey, everyone. And we also still have Sarah from Skywalking through Neverland in the clubhouse today.
I'm just the penny. I'm like a bad penny. I always turn up, right?
We wouldn't have it any other way, though. No.
Woohoo. Well, we are your tour guides through Disney fandom.
That's right. And on today's episode, we will be spending our time in Adventureland, as all three of us have gone on some wonderful, fun adventures. Some more out of this world than others, but more on that later. We are talking all about villains, princesses, and galactic heroes today. So to actually start us off, I want to know who are our favorite princesses, villains, and galactic heroes are. So Sarah, let's start with you.
Woo! Okay.
Ooh, let's start with princesses.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, so I have to say Rapunzel, because she is my Disney princess that I just fell in love with when that movie came out in 2010. And so much so that for my 30th birthday, I had like this pajama party throwback. Like a pajama party sleepover, because Rapunzel was coming out, or Tangled was coming out on DVD. And I was so excited. And I was like, okay, for my birthday, everyone's coming. We're wearing our pajamas. And we're having a Tangled birthday party. And we're watching the movie. And that was like the first time I had watched it since the theater. So it was very exciting. And I just love Rapunzel and how she's also not just a princess in distress or something, but she takes control. She has her frying pan, and she has her man Flynn, who is very much a Han Solo type. So there you go. It all fits.
I love it.
Yes.
I thought Flynn Rider was like the funniest, like, I guess, so-called prince, the prince of the movie. Mm-hmm. He's actually a thief, I guess.
He's a scoundrel with a heart of gold.
He's a scoundrel with a heart of gold. And my favorite princess, of course, is Belle. I have loved Belle, I don't know, since I can remember watching the movie. I really fell in love with her look. She had brown hair. I kind of look like her. I always wanted to be Belle in that yellow ball gown for Halloween. I never got to be, but I was Provincial Belle at Mickey's Halloween party once, and I love her smarts, her book smart. She stands up for her father and her family, and I just love that about her. She is my forever princess.
Kelly, I do have to say that Belle was my favorite until Rapunzel came along, because I always identified with her book smarts and everything, but I never looked like her. So like when Rapunzel came along, I was like, okay, here we go. The full package.
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with that. It was like the first brunette princess that I saw, because we had Ariel with red hair, we had Cinderella with blonde, and Aurora was kind of like strawberry blonde. Mm-hmm. So it was that brunette. I looked like her, and I always wanted to be her. So I actually... Funny story, I wanted my middle name. I wanted to change my middle name when I was little. I hated my middle name. And I always wanted to be Kelly Belle Turkel. That was my name. I really wanted it. My mom would not let me change it, but I have grown to love my middle name, which is Jean, and is my grandmother's middle name as well. But I always wanted to be Kelly Belle.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, my favorite princess is Cinderella. And her motto is always have courage and be kind. And I love her. She's just the sweetest thing. And I for a while there, it was Jasmine because Aladdin was the new movie coming out when I was growing up. So it was Jasmine, but Cinderella, I more identify with, kind of a little bit of a sheltered high school existence and stuff. So just kind of resonated with Cinderella there. So she really became my princess. And also, she usually is in has a blue background because she's blonde, and so it pops on a blue background, and my favorite color is blue. So just love that. And yeah, she waltzes, she dances, I'm a dancer, so yeah, I love Cinderella.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, should we go? Let's go around and our favorite villains now.
Yes.
So my favorite villain is Maleficent. However, it is, with a caveat, it is Maleficent as a dragon. I just freaking love in Sleeping Beauty when she is so upset and she transforms into the amazing the dragon, and it's so scary yet so compelling at the same time. Going back to that slumber party thing that I had for Tangled, well, back when I was 7 was my very first slumber party that I had for my birthday, and we had all the girls come over and we watched Sleeping Beauty, and I remember we all got scared at the dragon scene, but yet it was like a good scare. It was like one of those, like you watch horror movies with your friends, right? Because it makes it more fun. So I just always remember that moment. And my dad had to come over the balcony and like shush us at like midnight because we were being too loud.
In trouble.
Yes. But
that is a scary scene. That's why she's a scary thing in Fantasmic.
It's so scary. Yes. Yeah. And the blacks and that green, that acid green is such an interesting color combination. I just was so drawn to that. And same when Fantasmic, the original one, came out, where the dragon, you can't see the full dragon, you just see the head. Like that's my favorite because it leaves it to mystery.
Mine too.
Yeah. So I have to say that, it kind of dovetails between the movie Sleeping Beauty and the parks. Maleficent dragon. So there you go.
All right. I think my favorite villain is Maleficent as well. But this is a recent obsession with villains because I didn't like villains when I was little. Ooh. I didn't like watching the scary parts. I made Courtney fast forward through a lot of things. True. I don't know if I ever truly saw the end of certain movies. So villains just were not anywhere on my radar when I was little. So as I've grown older and learned to love villains and learned about their motives, and everybody has that little villain side. I've loved Maleficent in the movie and the live action Maleficent as well. I like her backstory. I like that she's like the all powerful, and usually she's the one leading the charge of all the villains because she's supposed to be all powerful. And I think this actually does have a lot to do with Descendants on Disney Channel with Mal and
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so and purple is my favorite color, and purple and green are usually associated with Maleficent. So I think I have grown into loving my villain side.
Nice. I love it.
What about you, Court? Well, I do have a special place for Maleficent because she is usually the big baddie, especially for Fantasmic. My number one will always be the evil queen from Snow White. I absolutely love this villain. Anytime anybody asks me who my favorite villain is, it's always the evil queen from Snow White. I mean, she literally wanted to murder Snow White for being nice and pretty. Like, that's all. But also it has a lot to do with Fantasmic. That scene where she's over the cauldron and she's saying the incantation to turn her into that old hag. One of my favorite parts in that show.
Love Fantasmic. And also Once Upon a Time. Regina Mills. I love that character. She is so good at playing the evil queen and then trying to be redeemed for the love of her son. I absolutely love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Oh my gosh. Woo.
All right. Moving on to Galactic Heroes. What's yours, Sarah?
Oh my gosh. This is too hard because I can't narrow it down. So, I mean, traditionally, Han Solo has always been my favorite. I just love that scoundrel with a heart of gold plus Harrison Ford just equals perfection. So, yeah. But more recently, I mean, I know like Ahsoka Tano is like very much one of the recent characters that has really captured my heart since the Clone Wars came out in 2008. So it's just so hard, but ask me any on a different day and I might say Grand Admiral Thrawn or something. So like I just or Princess Leia, like I don't know. They all have
they're all your children. They're all your children.
They all, and then there's Baby Yoda. Yes. And then there's Baby Yoda, right? Grogu.
That's right.
I mean, gosh. So I'm gonna be an undecided right now, but I think today I'll say Han Solo because he's sitting right here. So okay.
And your Flynn Rider reception.
Yes.
Session too.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go.
Kelly, since you're a new Star Wars fan, who's yours?
Yeah. So anyone that's talked to me knows me. I'm a newer Star Wars fan, and I've only seen a couple of the originals, and I don't have a lot of attachment to Star Wars. But in my recent years, watching the sequels, I really loved Rey as the character. She embodied female empowerment and trying to wield the Force as a female. And I enjoyed her story arc through those three movies. So I'm going to say Rey.
Nice.
And I am like Sarah. They're all my children. I love all of the heroes. But today I'm going to go with Ahsoka as well. Because her story in the Clone Wars all through, even up through The Mandalorian has really touched my heart. And I really love the way that she had to decide, whether or not to go the path of the Jedi or not when they turned their backs on her and stuff like that. And I feel like she just had a rough path going, and I resonate with her most right now. So Ahsoka Tano.
Nice. Yeah, she really is the glue for Star Wars right now because she pops up in Star Wars Rebels. She pops up in The Mandalorian. She's in a bunch of books. Like wow, her character is so interesting. So, and there's going to be a whole series.
I know, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun series, I think.
I'm going to add on to that. I'm sorry. So now,
go ahead.
see, Courtney, you changed my mind. Now I'm going to say Ahsoka like 2 minutes later because, and I think this was a revelation I had in one of our Book of Boba Fett discussions, but Ahsoka like very much embodies someone who walks the walk and doesn't have to talk the talk. So she acts very Jedi-like. She has very spiritual tendencies and just is her actions speak louder than her words because she's not a part of the Jedi Order because she walked away from it, and yet she is the most Jedi-like character I think that we know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I need to learn more about Ahsoka.
Yes, you do. All right. Now we are in the spirit to give you the highlights of the recent events we attended. Disney's The Princess Concert, Disneyland's After Dark event Villains Night, and the Galactic Starcruiser. We've got a lot to cover, so let's climb aboard the Mark Twain riverboat as we dive into our first topic, Disney's Princess Concert.
Like 20 minutes in. I love
it. I think we could probably have a whole discussion about what our favorite characters are, but we'll leave it there.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, on February 27th, the three of us attended Disney's Princess Concert Oh my gosh. It was held in Anaheim at the City National Grove Theater, which is about 5 minutes away from Disneyland. You could probably park at one like Toy Story lot and like take an Uber over. It's not very far. And what was cool about this concert, well, for one thing, we had all bought tickets to this like the year before when it was still pandemic times. I remember
think we got tickets in like May.
I think you're
before,
right.
And we were thinking February had to be so
far
far away.
And then here it is. Oh my gosh. Here's this concert. Yeah, definitely. Well, this concert has been touring around the country, and for right now it features 4 Broadway actresses: Susan Egan, who was Broadway's first Belle in Beauty and the Beast, and she's also the voice of Meg from Hercules. Then we had Anneliese van der Pol, who is Broadway's last Belle in Beauty and the Beast. And also she's Disney Channel's Chelsea Daniels from That's So Raven and Raven's Home. We also had Sydney Winters, who played Nala in Broadway's The Lion King. And then Ariel Jacobs, who is Jasmine in Broadway's Aladdin. Oh my gosh. It was like a 2-hour show where all these Broadway princesses sang songs, not just from their own shows, but some of the other Disney princesses, and even went into Anastasia. Which was so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, rather than give you a rundown of like everything that happened, we're going to go around again, round table like. This is like a round table style show at this point.
Sure.
And we're going to share our favorite parts of the show. We're going to each choose 2. So Kelly, you are going to start us off this time.
Oh my gosh. This was an amazing show. And the caliber of the singers in the show was just mind-blowing. And I cannot tell you, if you ever get the chance to hear Susan Egan sing the phone book, but pretty much anything, if you get the chance to hear her sing Belle or anything from Beauty and the Beast, do it. Do it right now. Buy tickets, spend the money, purchase anything you can, because she is the most incredible singer and the funniest little actress. Her little nuances on stage were hilarious. So the moment for me when she got into her catalog was just, I was in tears and goosebumps.
I was going through my videos. I have some of the music, so we're going to play some clips as we go along.
I broke my arm the first year in middle of the show on stage, and I broke my foot the second year in middle of the show on stage, so they just called me Calamity Belle. 787 performances over 2.5 years, and it was nothing less than an absolute fairy tale dream come true. Little town, it's a quiet village, every day like the one before. Little town full of little people waking up to say bonjour, 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 bonjour. Hey girl. There goes the baker with his tray like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell. Every morning just the same since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, monsieur.
She also sang Beauty and the Beast. She sang Part of Your World. She sang everything. I mean,
they all looked amazing. They all have these Disney princess voices, but almost a step next level because it's Broadway voices. And just amazing. I cannot say more about Susan Egan.
Yes. All right, Courtney.
Oh my goodness. So, although I love anything that Susan Egan does, especially when she sings I Won't Say I'm in Love, my favorite is actually when Anneliese van der Pol sang the medley of the 3 original princesses. She sang a song from Snow White, she sang a song from Sleeping Beauty, and she sang a song from Cinderella. And they were playing animatics in back of her. And it just had me in tears. I looked over at Sarah and I was like, why am I crying right now? I was just in tears. And it was just this sweet little medley of, I think, the Wishing Well song, So This Is Love, and Once Upon a Dream. And it was just so beautiful. And
I didn't even know she could sing that high.
I know. Because
it was
usually, like,
beautiful.
we were introduced to Annalise by Chelsea Daniels, and Chelsea Daniels does not sing in Raven, except I think there's one musical episode.
Comedy genius, though. Comedy
Yes.
genius.
So to hear her sing those songs was just goosebumps, everything.
Wow. So, well, Courtney, you were like so mesmerized, and we were all mesmerized, so we never got audio of that particular section.
Yeah,
but we will play a bit of I Won't Say I'm in Love. So here you go. Okay, so now it's my turn. So I just love harmony and harmonizing, and like, as I always sang alto in the choir, so I would always sing harmony, and it was just more fun than the melody. So I just loved it when these ladies got on stage and sang their 4-part harmonies just together. And they would do this sometimes at the end of songs. So like one of them would come out and start singing, and then the rest would come in like towards the end to really just add to it. And I just found myself crying because it was so beautiful. And I think, so like the first time I cried was when Susan Egan again, she comes out and sings Part of Your World, but where we were sitting, it wasn't just the music. We were sitting stage center. And we were pretty close. Like it's a small theater. And so behind the ladies was this gigantic screen. And so it really looked like she was Ariel in the movie, because she was like going upstairs and sitting on them. And then here is Ariel's grotto, right?
Yeah.
Where she has all her things, and Susan's singing this gorgeous song. And then the 4 women or the 3 women ladies come back as she's singing, as Susan is singing, and then they end the song with this just gorgeous harmony.
Where would we run if we could stay all day in the sun? Just you and me, and I could be part of your world.
And I think there I was bawling, and then like the song stopped, and like all of us kind of looked around, and like everyone was dabbing or crying, or like people in all the rows around us. It's like mostly women, right? And we're all like, why did I do my makeup?
Right. Granted, probably this was like the first concert anybody has been to since the pandemic. So we're just like all like, oh my God.
I
know. Emotions were very high.
Yes. It was so funny.
Yeah. And if you can't have Jodie Benson sing Ariel, well,
right,
Susan Egan is just
well.
as good. And so
yeah,
good.
And I do have to shout out right before the intermission, the lady sang Into the Unknown, and oh my God, listen to this. All right, Kelly. So you get to go once more.
Okay, so talking about emotional and everything like that, the ladies talked about their Disney stories and how they got involved with Disney. And I remember Annalise Vanderpool saying that she was 15 in the car with her mom, waiting for a phone call for casting for That's So Raven, and it changed her life. And Sydney always wanted to be Nala in The Lion King on Broadway, and they just told us their Disney story. And everyone has a Disney story, whether they were little, whether they were older, whether it was at the parks or through movies. Everyone has one. And I felt like they were just friends that we met in line at Disneyland or whatever. And we were in a small venue, but pretty huge for a 4-person concert. And it just felt like I was at home sitting in front of our sing-along tapes when I was 5. They sang every song beautifully. They engaged us as an audience, and I felt like it was just friends that I have known forever, and it was an amazing concert.
Oh,
I
yeah.
especially love the story that Susan told, that like Disney wouldn't let her audition to be Belle because she was they wouldn't let her audition to be Meg.
Yes.
Because she had been Belle on Broadway, and she was like, oh no, this is me acting. Meg is where I live. And I was like, yes, girl, yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
My other favorite moment was actually Sydney Winters singing Shadowland. Oh, she gave me the chills, and the like lighting behind her went all green, and that girl could sing that song.
Shadowed land, this was our home.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so my final moment is just, I want to shout out that, I mean, these women are on Broadway. They were on Broadway, and they brought their Broadway selves to this concert, because there was a moment when Annalise came out and played Rapunzel. Susan Egan came out and played Mother Gothel, and they sang Mother Knows Best. And this was amazing because they just got in their Broadway zone. They were playing off each other. They were singing off each other. And it was so cute. And like, you can just hear me laughing in this clip, but listen to it.
Soon, but not yet. Trust me, pet. Mother knows best. Mother knows best. Listen to your mother. It's a scary world out there. Mother knows best. One way or another, something will go wrong, I swear. Ruffians, thugs, police and ivy, quicksand, cannibals and snakes. Oh, play now. Yes, also large bugs, men with pointy teeth and stop no more. You'll just upset me.
It was such a special night. Like, we got together and just did a girls' night, and
Yeah.
this was such a special night, and I loved hanging out with you girls.
Yes.
Yes.
So amazing.
We're off to a different night now.
Oh, yes, we are.
Very
Woo!
much different.
And it was such a fun night that we just all decided to do it again on March 10th for Disneyland's special ticketed event is Villains Night, which happened to be on Sarah's birthday. Happy birthday, Sarah! Yes.
Yay.
And to make it even more special, we all dressed up and Disney bounded as Loki, Maleficent, and Ursula. We ate, we drank, we rocked out to Disney music and met some very rare villains. that we normally don't get to see in the parks. So let's talk about our favorite parts about this event.
Woohoo! Yeah, these special ticketed events are cool. They are 4 hours though, and like it's like, oh my gosh, it's just a lot of time. So, or I mean, it's not a lot of time to fit in everything. So like, honestly, my favorite part. And this is what I really wanted to do because it was my birthday. I wanted to go. You can get there at 5 p.m., right? Or earlier if you have a ticket.
It was 5 p.m. this time.
Yes. 3 hours before the actual party. And so we all were able to get there at around that time. And I just really wanted to go have birthday drinks with you ladies and my husband, Richard. So you guys got us a spot at the Magic Key Terrace and we all tried the fun drinks there.
Yeah, it was super fun. I love the drinks there.
I love that too. And we had like time to kill too. So we were like relaxed and chilling and drinking and watching the sunset. That was like my favorite moment. And it wasn't even part of the party.
You know what? It was your birthday. You get to do whatever you want on your birthday. And if that's what it was, then it's amazing. And the Magic Key Terrace is so fun because they have drinks dedicated to old rides from California Adventure that are now not available or they've been turned into something different. So those are so fun. And I know, Courtney, you got one that was dedicated to the Tower of Terror.
I did. Yeah. And that was it was kind of like a martini little thing, and you could drop in cherry syrup kind of thing to make it was a little bit sour, but once the cherry was added, it was very much good. It was called the Drop In If You Dare. And Sarah, you had what did you have?
Well, so I had something that it's a seasonal item they added. It's called the Avalon Cooler. And what it is, it really was like strawberries and champagne, like the mixture of the things. And so like all of these, we actually recorded a little video of each drink, which I love when we do that. Cause then I was like editing the video later the next week. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was like really fun. That like solidified this was awesome because we all got to try we all chose different ones. Like
we did,
not by choice, but just by choice, not because we were trying to be different for the video. Right. Yeah. So it all worked out.
I hope that everybody goes and checks out that video because that video is really good.
Super cute. Yeah. It starts with the drinks too.
That's right. It does. Yeah. And that can be found at Skywalking through Neverland.com YouTube channel.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, Courtney.
All right. So
what's your favorite part of Villains Night?
Actually, my favorite part was getting to meet all of the unique villain characters that you don't get to normally see. I was determined to meet King Leonidas, who is actually one of the villains in Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is actually having its 50th anniversary this year.
Ooh.
And I've never seen King Leonidas in the parks before. And his tail was my favorite. Like it was just flopping there. Like it was an actual tail. Like
knocking into
whenever
everything.
you see when you see like lions in the park, like like Prince John or something like that, like you never see his tail because there's like there's somebody in the suit, but they actually did his tail and it was just like swinging behind him and it was the cutest thing. I loved him and he had his football and yeah, it was just cute. I loved it.
We did ask for his medal, though.
Yes. Did anyone give it to us?
No.
No.
Give it to us.
It has the inscription that you need to have substitutionary locomotion.
That's right. And what is it?
Traguna.
Macoides.
Tricorum
Sanctus.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. And that's like one of my favorite movies. So I was really, really excited to see him out. They had Edward, the butler from Aristocats. We didn't get to meet him, but we did walk past him. And they had Lotso Bear, Lotso Huggin' Bear from Toy Story 3 out.
Prince John and
Prince
Sheriff
John.
of Nottingham,
Yeah.
which played around with us a bit. They were pretty fun.
They were fun.
They wanted my jewelry. They
Yeah.
wanted my rings. They wanted
Mm-hmm.
money. They wanted to take our money. They
Yep.
were like, you're not going anywhere without giving us your money. And we were like, we don't have any money. Like,
right?
No, and they got very
He-
upset.
He got mad and sucked his thumb.
Yes, that was awesome.
We got him to suck his thumb.
Oh, mommy.
Yeah, and then Chef Louis from The Little Mermaid, who you don't normally really think of as the villain, but he is a villain. He tries to eat Sebastian, so that was really fun too.
yeah, they had the magic mirror photo ops and all kinds of different things that just you don't see anymore at the parks.
Yeah. So
That,
cool.
that was one of my favorite things, definitely.
Yay. All right, Kelly, what is your favorite?
Okay, so hands down, my favorite was the Bald Mountain Jazz Club. And this was like a little 25-minute show where they sang live entertainment coming back to the parks with live singers, live musicians, the Queen of Hearts as an actual person, not a big head. She was an actual person. We had the evil queen, and we had Mother Gothel,
And we had
ragtag groups.
And we had Dr. Terminus from Pete's Dragon.
Oh,
Was
that was
like
like
the-
who he was?
Yes.
Okay, see,
Okay.
I totally missed that boat, but awesome.
Yeah. He was like the MC-ish, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would also sing too. But yeah, he was really cool as well.
I couldn't place him, and I thought he was just like a regular MC that they just like had,
Yeah.
presenting this. But if he's Dr. Terminus, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then so then they sang a song each, and they sang together, and the evil queen sings Mulan's
Reflection.
Reflection.
Yes.
And like
I loved it. She was
I
hilarious.
just need more of this live entertainment coming back. It reminded me of Mad Tea Party
Yes.
when we used to go. It reminded me of a lot of the Tomorrowland Terrace, and having all the groups sing at the Tomorrowland Terrace and singing like Disney songs or like 80s songs or 90s songs or whatever. So this just brought me right back into it. We all had fun. We were dancing, clapping. They were hilarious, again, with like the comedy and the comedic timing between the three of them and the host and the dancers, because there were
Yes.
dancers too. And if you have not watched the Villains Night video, you need to go watch it, because the entire show is on there. You need to go watch that right now.
And we need this type of entertainment more in the parks.
Yes.
You want to give us another favorite moment, Sarah?
Okay, yes, I will. Well, gosh. So I'm just gonna stick with food today. Food and drinks.
Okay.
I guess I'm hungry. Because so one of the fun things about these events is trying out the different foods they have, especially for the night. And I do want to say, this is like a total tangent, but like for the past about 4 or 5 times I've been to the Disneyland Resort for anything, even a themed night or whatever, I get a Disneyland Resort survey. Like they've,
Yes.
I don't know. Have you guys got that
Yeah,
too?
I got it
Yes.
too. Yeah,
All
I
right.
got the survey.
Well, one of the things they asked was, would you want like a food pass
Yeah.
for the event? And I'm like, chick, yes, please.
I said that too, because like
Yeah.
we usually do the
Uh-huh.
sip and savor pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can just give you a tab, I would get more food, because like
Yeah.
we didn't really get much food.
right.
We got a few things, but we didn't get much. And I'm like, if I could just give you a tab for that, sign me up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try all the things. So that is a tangent, but it goes into what I'm about to say. So it's about food, and we were waiting in line for Lotso right before 8 p.m. when the event was supposed to start. However, Kelly, you looked at and saw like after 8 p.m. the line wasn't moving, and we're like, what's going on? Well, Kelly looked, and the characters weren't going to start till 8:30 at least, or 9 in some places. So we're like, oh man. And
Right.
so we left, went around the quarter to past Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, and as we're passing, this smell wafts into our noses, and it's like that spaghetti marinara smell with the
Cheese.
salami and the cheese, like, and we're like, what is that? We literally followed our noses into Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, where they were serving up stromboli. Which is of course a reference to the Pinocchio Disney villain Stromboli.
Yeah.
So we all got that. It's basically calzone, right, with salami and ham and all the meats, like all those meats and cheese.
Yes.
And the marinara sauce, you could have marinara sauce with it to dip as well as it being inside. And so we had this first thing. And right now, it's like my favorite thing in the parks. I hope they bring that back. It was so good. It was so filling. It was just the smells and the taste. Oh my, I mean, you could see us eating it on the video, but like we were all very impressed with the stromboli.
I wish that because they let the special ticketed people in at 5, I wish they would start selling the food at 5.
Same.
Because and you should have to show your ticket, or it should be attached to your app that you can get these items.
That's a really good idea.
Because I would rather come at 5 and eat and enjoy a sit down meal, or maybe a couple different things before 8 o'clock, before all of the characters and the events start, because trying to do food, events, characters, photos all in one is difficult. It's not easy. You can't do it all.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So Courtney, what was another fun thing that you liked?
Oh, watching you and Richard eat the cookie num num for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
That was so much fun, because that is the best cookie in DCA.
You realize now that you have created monsters, and then every time we go to DCA, we're gonna need to get that. But you guys surprised us because you got us both one, and those things are like gigantic.
They are,
but they're huge. They're like little mini hand pies or something that you can easily share. But then I had this whole giant cookie, and I'm like, I guess I'm eating this all by myself. Okay.
Yes, you can go and watch the video that is on Skywalking through Neverland. And yes, they are this like the size of a tart and the thickness of a tart of a chocolate chip cookie that's warmed. And it's ooey gooey and so good. Kelly, what's your second favorite?
So my favorite thing about this event is they are starting to put more of the events in California Adventure, which makes these events seem more spread out. It makes it seem less crowded, and just the Disneyland events seem always like just a lot of people and a lot of lines and a lot of things. We've gone to events over there. We've been to 90s Night. We went to Marius Nights. We've gone to things over there, and it just seems like a lot of people, even though it's less than what a day guest would consider crowded. But it, for that much money and a special ticketed event, it should feel a little less. And with Oogie Boogie and the Villains Night, I think they've kind of captured California Adventure's real purpose to hold these after hours events, because it's feels like it's laid out better for it. So I enjoyed the leisurely night, and the rides were not very long, and I loved going over Soaring California, because it's California right now because of Food and Wine, and that is my favorite version of Soaring. So I love that we ended our night and topped the cherry with Soaring.
Oh,
that was fun.
That was great. That was a great way to end the night.
Mm-hmm. And we also went on the Little Mermaid at the first part. So
yeah, that's right.
We had to, because Sarah was Ursula.
That's right.
Nice.
So that was a really fun night. And if you guys want to actually see everything like we said and experienced, please go to Skywalking Through Neverland's YouTube channel and watch the video they put out from that night. We had so much fun, and we are totally looking forward to Star Wars Night on May 27th. Speaking of Star Wars, Sarah, you had the opportunity to go on the Galactic Starcruiser, a 2-night immersive experience for the media cruise in late February. You teased it in our last episode, so now please tell us all about it.
Are you guys okay with hearing spoilers?
Oh yeah.
We are okay with hearing spoilers. We'll put a spoiler warning for anyone who does not want to hear spoilers. Stop listening now and then come back when you've gone on your Starcruiser.
Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead.
All right, so you guys ask me all the questions because I got answers.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, first off, for anyone that doesn't know, living under a rock, hasn't paid attention, what is the Galactic Starcruiser exactly?
Okay. Now, this experience is so different than anything we've ever experienced that it's really hard to describe. And I think Disney marketing had a hard time describing it too.
I believe they did. Yeah.
I believe they had a trouble with a lot of it.
Yeah. So I'm going to read you what Disney says on their website when you go to Galactic Starcruiser page. So they say, see it, feel it, live it. Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is a revolutionary new 2-night experience where you are the hero. You and your group will embark on a first-of-its-kind Star Wars adventure that's your own. It's the most immersive Star Wars story ever created, one where you live a bespoke experience and journey further into a Star Wars adventure than you ever dreamed possible. Okay, so that's their opening paragraph. And it just sounds like a bunch of what does this mean? It's a word.
It's a word.
It sounds like a bunch of words.
And what the heck is bespoke?
Yeah, what is bespoke?
I don't even know. So
I was like, that's a weird word to use.
Yes.
Is it a galactic word? I don't think it is.
Right. And then coupled with the fact that everyone's calling this the Star Wars Hotel, which it is not a Star Wars hotel. So
because we didn't have a name for it for so long.
Exactly. It's kind of like Star Wars Land.
Yeah,
we didn't know what to
call
sleep
it
there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like Star Wars Land. We called Galaxy's Edge Star Wars Land because they didn't name it at first. We called Grogu still Baby Yoda because they didn't name it at first. Disney should learn from their mistakes. But regardless,
they should learn to name things. Name things so we don't get mad.
Exactly.
Name things so we don't have to name them ourselves and get attached to it.
Yes, because people want to tweet about stuff. They want to Instagram stuff. They need to have something to call it and a hashtag. So yeah. So basically it's like this 2-day, 2-night experience. But so going in, I didn't really know what to expect. They say you're immersed in this Star Wars story. What does that mean? Well, what this means is you are in a murder mystery dinner theater in the round for 45 hours straight. It's like you are stepping into a Star Wars movie, but you are characters in this movie and you interact with the main characters. It is like nothing you've ever experienced, but I'm saying it in a different way than Disney writing it does.
Yes. I feel like it's as if you stepped on a Star Wars movie without ever looking at a script.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's kind of what it is.
You're like, I'm here, I'm ready, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm ready to go. All right.
Yeah, it totally is. And what's interesting about it is you have these characters, but they're new Star Wars characters. So you get to know them as you go, as they get to know you as well. And so, but then you also have familiar characters cropping up like Chewbacca is introduced halfway through the first day. And, you may see Rey and Kylo Ren, which they've already teased in the things, but these characters don't come in until way later in the story when you've already been attached to these characters. So it's like you're watching, how you watch a 2-hour movie and you can get into the world of those characters. Well, multiply that feeling times 10 times 100 because you're actually interacting with these characters, not only on your data pad, because they give you little missions that you can choose to accept, like a choose your own adventure. You can say, no, I don't want to help you, Lieutenant Croy from the First Order. Or you can say, yes, I will do your every command, Lieutenant Croy from the First Order. And depending on what you choose, it pops up another message from him, so these characters send you on missions, but then you actually see them around the ship everywhere, in life. So
that's so
Nice.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
I just was seeing that, it pops up on your data pad and they have a little profile picture, and then you're like, wait, that's that guy over there.
Yeah. Right.
And that is so cool.
I love that. It's like, I want to do that. I just want to be immersed in a story. I love interacting with the characters and stuff like that. So that is just amazing to me.
It is
how
so
immersive did you get? Like, did you feel like they immersed you?
Oh, definitely. So like when it's funny when you're driving up to the gate, it's one of those gated entrances, and then you drive further in and go to the right, and then you are at the terminal, which is where you go through the terminal. It's where they have the bag check and everything, and then you are supposedly on a transport that lifts you off into space onto the Galactic Starcruiser. And like once you're in the ship, you feel like you're on a cruise, because there's windows around you in the main atrium. You can see the bridge. You can see what the bridge is seeing outside. And even your cabins have these windows that look out into space. So, and there's a map in your room of the ship travel, like the path of the ship. So you can see where you are at any given moment, which is really helps immerse you and really helps you feel like you're on a cruise going to Batuu, because you start in Chandrila, I believe.
Okay. So do you actually go through, like, it actually shows you like going through the other planets and stuff?
It does.
Nice.
It's really cool. And
kind of like on an airplane, you can see like you're over
exactly
Denver,
like that,
or you're over Texas or something like that.
Yeah, it shows you the
fly.
flight path. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it does show you that and where you are in the flight path. And so like once you're there, I mean I still believe I was on a cruise, right? Like I just, even though when you're exiting around, you have to exit such that you literally drive around this gray building that is the Starcruiser, and yet like it looks like a prison or something, or like a high school.
I see pictures of it in video. Yeah. It's just this gray building.
It is. And yet I was on a cruiser. Like I was up in space.
They kind of need like a go away green on that.
Yes. And more, they need the trees to build up around it as well. Yeah, just because it's really funny. And yet we saw that at the beginning, but then I don't think about that at all on the end, because you really do feel like you've been traveling. And when you get to Batuu, you have this transport that takes you over, and all of a sudden you're on Batuu. You're let out into a special new entrance to Batuu, like back entrance. It's so cool. So it's like I really feel like
small, or did it feel like huge?
No, it felt in between. It felt just right.
Okay.
Like Goldilocks. No, because it was interesting because, like before you go, the only thing you see, you have to use your Disney Parks Play app. That is where your itinerary is in the data pad of the Disney Parks Play app. And so in that data pad, not only do they have your itinerary, but stuff you can view beforehand. I think it's up to 2 weeks before. You can view your itinerary, which changes as you go and as you get closer. You can also view a ship map. And so when you look at the map, it doesn't look that big. It's like, okay, there's like 2 floors of rooms or 3 floors of rooms. There's like this big atrium. And then underneath that is the big dining hall. And then there's these little offshoot rooms. There's like the Sublight Lounge, which is your cantina. There's the Halcyon shop, Chandrila shop. And there's an engineering room and the bridge and the climate simulator. And then a lightsaber training room. So like, these are like the only things on there, and it looks kind of small, but once you get in the space, it seems it expands, because it's like, it's the story envelopes you and it just kind of works. Like if it was any bigger, honestly, it would be a little harder to get around because everything's so close together. Like I could pop to my room, go to the bathroom, pop out and be in the atrium in like 15 seconds. Because my room was very close.
Like I just think of the Disney cruises that are massive.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
From what I've watched, everything happens so fast. So
yes,
you want to be in a tight space so that you can get there really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned the cabins and that you had a view out those cabins. How were those cabins? Because they don't look that comfortable.
Oh, really? So, I mean, I think they're really cool. They're themed so well. Like to the door. So like when you arrive, you get a special Halcyon magic band and that unlocks your door, but the doors don't open like normal doors. They slide like Star Wars doors. And
Yay.
that's really
Make
cool.
Noise.
Yes. And like any hotel room, you get in, you're in a hallway, right? And then there's like the bathroom off to the right or left, depending on which way your room is situated. And you walk further and then there's your bedroom space. And while it's not a lot of space, it's kind of like a cruise where you have, your cabins are kind of small in a cruise, right?
Yeah, they expect you to be out on the ship.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happens here. You are doing so much. All you're in that room for is to sleep and get ready. Like that. And the beds are really comfortable. Like Richard and I took the main bed. But there are these little sleeping bunks that look like little sleeping nooks almost. And they're so cute and cozy and like a twin bed fits in them. So it looks like it's not big enough for a normal adult, but they are because the bed extends beyond the opening that you see.
Oh,
and they're kind of deep as well. So the bunks look so cute.
From the videos, they actually look like fulls or queens.
Yeah, they might be full. I doubt that they're queen. They're not queen because the bed is a queen.
Yeah, the bed's a queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're probably a full. They're like, because they're definitely not a twin.
Okay.
I sleep on a twin. So they're probably a full.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cozy and that's all you really need is a comfortable bed. And there's plenty of mirrors, which I like. And a lot of people, I'm sure, will be cosplaying or, and that's another thing, because you're so close to everything, you can change as much as you want, which is really nice. Like I changed and got glitzy for dinner, right? So they have a really cool vanity space in the hallway so you don't have to be taking up the sink in the bathroom to do your makeup.
I like that.
You can have this vanity with the lights around it, like they're Star Wars lights, right? They look like the Death Star. What are they called? Like side things.
Oh, okay, got it.
Anyway, but yeah, that's where like my friend and I did our makeup because we were right there. So technically 3 or 4 girls could do their makeup at the same time, I would say.
Okay,
2 standing in front of the vanity, 2 in front of the mirror. But I do have to say the showers have a rain head.
Oh,
so it's really fun, and it's really and the door
you have luxury.
Yes,
Yeah.
and all the doors slide. So there's no doors getting in your way. They all slide into the walls and stuff, which really helps the space. And it is bigger than, like, I would say it. I mean, it's really a normal size room. It's not, and once again, you're not spending a lot of time in there. You're sleeping, so like, don't worry.
I definitely want to try out those bunk beds, though. Those bunk beds look pretty neat. I mean, they
I wouldn't mind sleeping there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind sleeping there either.
Yeah, they're very, very cozy. Yeah.
So you did mention that you could choose your own adventure. And if you could explain a little bit of that and what path that you followed.
Sure. Yeah. So this all starts on your data pad, which is your phone and the Disney Parks Play app. And you go to the data pad portion of that. And then all of a sudden, like, you'll get a comm the morning of your disembarkation day from Lenka Mock, who is the cruise director. And I think it's Lenka Mock. And she'll so even before you board, the story starts.
Okay.
Because she sends you a comm, and that's one of the options below. Like you can view your itinerary, the map, the comms, and something else. And so the comms is what you want to get into. And that's where you receive messages from these characters that you will then see on the ship. So before you even board that morning of, Lenka Mock sends you a comm that might say something like, oh, by the way, the Halcyon Starline is being investigated by the First Order, but nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. You know, this shouldn't affect the trip, right? Shouldn't affect your cruise.
Okay.
So
See, everyone's vlogs that I've seen, they don't mention that.
Oh, okay.
That they got a message before they got on.
I think because so much happens once you're on, you like forget about that.
Exactly. But nobody, so that's key to know that it starts there and that you already know it's being investigated before you even get on the ship. Because everything that I've seen is like, oh, this like first officer, just happens to stop by and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's the story has begun and you haven't even stepped foot on the ship.
Interesting.
Once you get on the ship, that is when you need to start looking at your data pad and checking your comms, because that's basically like when have you guys read the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you like read up to a certain point and then you pick like the answer and you have to go to either page 2 or page 5 or something like that, right? That's exactly what happens in your comms. Your comms is your Choose Your Own Adventure book, and you'll get a comm from Lenka Mock, the cruise director, who will say something, and then you'll choose one of 2 or 3 answers. And depending on what you choose, the whole system, however this works, starts splitting you off on a path. And so like you could have a very different path from someone else in your room even, because of what you choose. And also another thing is interacting with the characters and also interacting with terminals on the ship. So there's like these ship terminals that are supposed to be accessed by the crew, but you can start messing around and accessing them, and you might get comms that correspond to what you tried to do.
Interesting.
So you can start messing around with that right away before everything starts happening at 4 p.m. for the ship muster drill.
Yeah.
It's really
I like
cool.
it. Got
it. So does it blatantly ask you what path you want to take, or is it just blatantly what you choose at that time? Or
Oh, no, it doesn't blatantly ask you. No. It's based on your choices of answers. Like, let's say, I mean, the easiest one is, let's say Lieutenant Croy. You see a comm from him and he's like, I need you to do a mission on Batu for me. And you can see your response could either be, sure, I'll, whatever you need me to do, Officer Croy. Or another one would be like, no, I don't do that. Or another may be, well, for the right price. So you have like kind of the resistance, the First Order, or kind of a smuggler's path.
Got it.
And even based on those choices, there's different things that they shuffle you into as well. Like, I would say that Trisha and BJ, who are on our cruise, Trisha from Fangirls Going Rogue, she and BJ picked an ultra resistance path. Like just total resistance. Whereas I, at one point, chose something like, well, for the right price, something like that. So on the second day, me and Richard got dumped into like this event that happened in the engineering room where Lenka Mock came out and gave like she had us fix the ship or something because the First Order had messed it up. Whereas like the half hour later, Trisha and BJ got into the engineering room and Lenka Mock gave this like impassioned speech about the resistance, which we didn't get. So it was really interesting. Like ours was more technical, like, okay, you're here to help me and here's these data tapes and go. Whereas hers was more about total resistance. Like it almost made me cry, the speech, because she had videotaped it.
Right.
Yeah. It was really cool. Yeah. And then there was like some other, like, as people have experienced different journeys and things, like there's a whole nother subset of things that take place with Gaia, who is the galactic superstar who sings, and her manager, Wraith Cole. I never got on any path to help them, but apparently there's something that they need people to help them with. So, like there's all these different things. And then there's something else that even you are in the room with Rey at one point with a holocron. And it's like, I never got to experience that, like what is that? So it really just completely depends. And like, you can have so many different journeys, going on this. Like, I wish there was some kind of like annual pass you could buy for this thing. Cause
right.
Like, I don't want to like try all the different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. So even if you pick a resistance path the next time, you could have another completely different journey.
But now to the important question is food. How is the food on this cruise? And did you have a favorite or a least favorite?
Because Kelly is, a picky eater, and all of that food looked way crazy, and she may not eat it.
Oh, well, because we were on the media cruise, we actually got to speak with the culinary people afterward, and we got to ask them questions. And so the man who developed or helped, he was on the development team to develop the food. Their main goal was to create foods that looked really weird and different, but tasted like something So that was their brief. That was their project brief. And so you get things that way. You get things like a peanut butter and jelly puff, right? So it looks like a bow almost, or like some kind of cream puff. But when you bite into it, it's sunflower butter and jelly inside.
Oh my.
Yeah. And then you get something like bubbly cheese toast and red fruit dipping sauce. And it looks very different, but what it is the tomato soup and a cheese, grilled cheese, basically dipping sandwich or a sandwich.
So I just have to remember that red fruit means tomato.
Yes.
Because I hate tomatoes.
Oh, okay. Yes. Red fruit is everywhere. So yeah.
And long fruit is bananas.
Yes.
So another thing she doesn't like.
Those are two things that I don't like.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I would say that cheesy bubble bread was like my favorite thing. And that's at the first lunch. So don't miss your first lunch.
I'll definitely try the grilled cheese.
Yes. But my other favorite thing would be one of the last things we ate, which was the final meal on the final night is a taste of the galaxy. And you get different courses representing different planets from around. This is the famous blue shrimp from Felucia. So that's one of the courses.
Did you like the blue shrimp?
It wasn't my favorite thing, but I would have eaten a couple of them. So it was fine. Okay, but my favorite thing was the Chandrillan air cake, because this was the final, the dessert on your Taste of the Galaxy evening. And it was made in the logo of the Halcyon, the Starcruiser, which was neat in itself. You see it all over the ship. So by the time you're done, you like want everything with that logo on it. You're like, I want this and this and this. And it's chocolate, it's chocolate with some raspberry-ish flavors, and it's just really good and light and yummy, and I loved it. It was the mousse that made it airy.
Very good. Very good. And what was your least favorite?
Oh, that would have to be one of the breakfast items that was called whole grain green pearberry toast. And I think it was supposed to be avocado toast, sort of.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
But it was like gross. It was like literally eating cardboard, and the green of the avocado, I guess, it didn't really taste like avocado. It didn't really taste like anything. So it was just like, ugh, I don't like this.
I probably wouldn't have touched it because it's avocado. So that's good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Stay clear of that one.
Yes, very much so.
All right, now that we talked about food, we got to talk about drinks. And is the blue
We
and green
love
milk
drinks.
better than on Batu?
Is the blue milk better than on Batu? No, I think it's basically the same. I would say on Batu you get more of a slushy blue and green milk, right? Whereas this, it still had a thicker consistency, but I don't think it was quite as cold. So like as the icy.
Well, I know in
Slush.
Florida you can add alcohol to their blue and green milk. Could
they
you
did
add
not.
alcohol on the milk?
No, I didn't even think to ask.
See, these are the things you gotta ask.
Yeah. All right, so blue and green milk, pretty much the same, just a different consistency.
Yes.
Did you have the alcoholic beverages?
Oh, yes, we did. Oh my gosh. Like, so in the lounge, the Sublight Lounge, you can buy your alcoholic drinks. And of course they have a fun drink list that comes from all over the galaxy. And one of the main ones, the top on the list that a lot of people ask for, is called the Silver Sea Martini. And it's like a glittery martini. But what's fun about that is that there's these two on either side of the bar. There's these two like fish creatures that are swimming. And apparently whatever they secrete like mixes together in one mixture in the middle, and that's what makes it shiny and silvery in your Silver Sea Martini. So the martini is mixed differently, but then they add this glittery gel thing that's apparently from the fish, and there you go. But it's very good.
Very cool.
What a description.
I know.
But you know what? They have something like that in Oga's Cantina too, where
They
there's
do, I
something's
think.
in it and it comes from that. I can't remember what
Yeah.
it is, but they have something similar to that on Batu as
Oh, okay.
in
Okay.
Oga's. Not that same one, and I don't think it's a martini, but like I know that they get it out of something that has a creature in it.
Yes.
That makes the
Yeah. But you can ask any of the bartenders. They have the story. They'll tell you all about it, and probably much better than I did.
Nice.
Well, I know Courtney will enjoy the Sublight Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but another fun thing you can do in the Sublight Lounge is they have a snack menu, and you can just order all of them because they're all included.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Because it's kind of like a cruise. You can just order whatever you want. Food's
Yep.
included, right?
Yep. And that's
cool.
really fun. They have like kind of potato chips that are called something different. They have the smoked cheese that comes, and
I've seen the
Yeah.
smoked cheese.
Yeah.
That's pretty fancy.
it was really good. They have a bunch of other stuff we didn't try. But now I'm like, okay, well, I should have tried that.
All right.
So when you're eating, though, if something happens, do you have to like leave all your food?
I mean, you could probably just bring it with you. The ship, you know.
Ah.
Yeah. And if you happen to be like wanting a drink or something, like that's another, the quality of service. Like you can just be like, can you bring me some water or some blue milk? And like one of the people will bring it to you, like wherever.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah. And
Very
you can get coffee drinks anytime, like lattes, espressos as well.
Good.
That's included, like in the Sublight
included.
Lounge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And for breakfast, like you can ask them specially and they'll make it for you. It's really cool.
Nice.
Okay.
I like it.
So all of these characters, all these new characters, all these loved characters, did you have a character interaction that you really enjoyed?
Okay. So I've been on some other podcasts. I've told some interesting interactions with Sammy and stuff, but I'm going to do something different now because I have been for like 3 days, I was editing this video of Gaia and her dinner show. And I was adding lyrics to the video because a lot of what she sings is really, really cool. There's like some really empowering lines in her story. And Gaia herself, you know, she's a Twi'lek. So it's a species that has been enslaved in the galaxy previously. Their planet has been, you know, like under control of different sects and stuff. And so her story is about like rising up above that. And a lot of the lyrics in her songs really display that. So I'm going to say it's Gaia because in that room that night, Richard and I were placed in a really cool position. We were in some booths that were right up front by where she sang. She and Uwani, her backup singer. And so she would, while she walked around the room the entire time, she would walk right by us and like give us side eye or something, you know, like, or sing like right to us. And at one point, I even spoke to her during the show. Like she was drinking water and kind of leaned right over the balcony edge of our booth. And, you know, we had a cute little interaction while she was like talking to everyone. So that was really cool. And then Lieutenant Croy, the First Order, he also is in the show. He's like watching. He's not in the show, but he's watching. He like sat 2 tables down from us at a table and just was watching for half the night. And at one point, like Teresa, my other co-host on Fangirls Going Rogue, said something to him, you know, derogatory, and he like looked right at our camera and was like, oh, with this weird look, like, why did you say that to me? It was so funny. Nice. And so like, those are a couple of the fun experiences. I mean, just by virtue of where we were placed, we were really close and had a lot of interaction with Gaia. So she was amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
So
all
cool.
the videos I've seen, her songs are amazing. She has this wonderful voice, and I'm so sad she's not getting the love she deserves from the people, because you have to understand. Apparently, they did not watch the Clone Wars and didn't know what Twi'leks went through. So yeah, I'm just saying, because obviously she deserves more love than she's getting.
Do we know who wrote her songs or who composed them?
You know what? We do. Hold a moment. So yes, we actually do, because my friend Trisha Barr was able to interview Alex and he was an entertainment producer project manager on the Starcruiser. And Trisha asked specifically about Gaia and her music. And so, yeah, it was really cool. And so Black female composers and writers wrote the words to her story. And Judith Hill, who actually did Ula Shuka for Galaxy's Edge, came back to do all of the work for it as well. Oh, wow. So they created a role and a musical set with all Black female composers, writers, book writers, as well as lyricists.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Gives it an authentic feeling.
Yes, absolutely.
It felt authentic watching it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so neat.
All right. So as we all know, you get to go to Batuu on your second day of the cruise. And I want to know, how is your Batuu excursion, and is it different from just being a normal day guest in Batuu?
So we have the pleasure of going to Batuu really whenever we want. And
Batuu West, yes.
Yes, Batuu West. Too. And so like going into this, I was like, well, I just want to spend a lot of time on the ship, because like that's where it's at, you know, like I go to Batuu whenever, but Batuu is part of the story that you do. So if you think about it, you're on the ship from let's say the story starts like 4 p.m. to midnight on the first day. That is basically act 1 of a 3-act play, let's say. Batuu is your act 2. Batuu is where everyone's on these missions. Like you can do different missions for different characters on Batuu. Stuff is brought back from Batuu on your whatever the cruiser that goes back, the transport. Thank you. That end up popping up later. So Batuu is act 2. And then act 3 is like your kind of leads into the finale on the Starcruiser from like, let's say 4 p.m. on to that evening. So you don't want to miss Batuu. Also, you feel like you're a huge VIP. Like it's awesome because they give you this pin that has the Halcyon logo on it, and you're told to wear it so that on Batuu, all the Batuu citizens will recognize you and treat you different and maybe say things to you or help you along with missions. And you also get lightning lanes to your Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, both of which are part of your mission, and stuff that happens in those rides, in those attractions, returns in when you get back to the Star Line. So it's super
crazy. Cool. So a ride you've ridden 20 times has a whole new meaning.
It has a whole new meaning. And this is partly because both of these things, both Galaxy's Edge and the Starcruiser, were developed for 5 years at the same time.
That's awesome. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's hugely
but I think
intrinsic.
That's also why feels like we're missing a component in Batuu a little bit.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree.
So did you have any trouble with the cast members on Batuu, or did they notice your Halcyon button right away? Or
yeah, they all noticed it. In fact, there was a gentleman standing in front of the Oga's cantina, and he had some people asking him, hey, is there reservations? And he was telling everyone, no, there's no more reservations, blah, blah, blah. And then we come up to him with our pins and he's like, hello, right this way. Like, it was just very much first level service. And then he also, I think his name was Blake. And then he also, like, hey, did you happen to, see a comm from Wraith Cole? And he kind of helped us on this mission. And so, do you have something to show me, basically? And one of our friends, BJ, had already done whatever he needed to do to get to that point in the mission. And he's like, yeah. And he like surreptitiously showed him his data pad, which had a symbol on it. And so Blake pulls out a very special purple coaster, a very special purple coaster with that symbol on it. So that is like, everyone goes crazy for those coasters at Oga's.
Oh yeah. I have one.
Yeah. So like, you want the whole set, right? Well, this is new. This is fancy. So that's one of your missions. It was neat.
My only worry about this is when the parks get busier.
Yeah.
Will the cast members remember to play along?
Well, I do have a tip. If you want more of a special experience on Batuu, just go as early as you can, because they do let you go, like your transports leave before the park is open at 9. So like if you go early, and we were there very early, probably at 9 a.m. And it was nice. It was like cooler. It wasn't that crowded. And then we went back to the ship for lunch and came back around 2 to 3. And it was just mad packed in Batuu. So, and hotter. so my advice is to like do some stuff in the morning and then get back to the ship where it's air conditioned and climate controlled.
Alrighty. Earlier the better.
I actually did see something kind of funny yesterday, that because you guys are on the Halcyon and you're able to dress up but Disney bound and do the characters, people were seeing characters on Batuu. And I think somebody that didn't really know what was happening or doesn't know what Halcyon is or what you can do on the Halcyon was like, I thought that you couldn't wear a costume over the age of 14 because you look too much like Rey or you look too much like Kylo. But Walt Disney World has actually changed the rules on the website, saying that if you are on the Halcyon, you can go on Batuu in your cloaks and your costumes and your Disney bounding. Which I thought was really funny because they've made such a big deal about people not wearing their robes and you can't wear the costumes, but if you're a Halcyon VIP, I guess you're able to wear your robes and wear your costumes and Disney bound as Star Wars characters. So if you want to wear your robes and your cloaks, go on the Starcruiser.
Cool. And I do have to say, it took me a while, but you can still, once you have a Galactic Starcruiser like reservation, you can buy some of the clothes from Shop Disney. I think it's 60 days before and like 60 or 120 days after. And I ended up getting the Padme cloak.
Oh, did you?
It's coming in the mail.
Oh,
It's for my
yay.
birthday. I didn't know if I wanted it when I was there, and then I kept on thinking about it, and yeah. So
you got
I'll
it.
be wearing that on Batu West, and
There
yeah.
you go. Well,
Star Wars
I
night.
think that, like you said, once you're immersed in this 2-day craziness, you just want everything that has logos and
Yes.
I beat the Starcruiser, or like I survived the Starcruiser.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even gone yet, and I've just like soaked up all of the vlogs from everybody because I just wanted to know the whole story, and I got so attached to the characters just sitting in my room.
Oh,
Like I was like I got so attached to Sammy. It was like when I don't know whose vlog it was, but when he goes and does what he does with the droid, I was like, Sammy, no!
yes. Oh, it's so upsetting.
I know. I got so attached, and I just want to like watch it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next question I have is, do you think you need to know anything about Star Wars before going on this trip? Or do you have to be into Star Wars?
It is like a movie. You're in a movie. So, and the characters are laid out for you. So if you don't know anything about Star Wars, the characters and things are simple enough that you would understand their motivations, just like you would any kind of movie that you're watching. So like, let's say a kid who's like 7 and they don't really know Star Wars. Well, they know Sammy, this guy's talking to them and he needs help. So he's going to help Sammy. You know, they know that this Lieutenant Croy, he's kind of mean and like dismissive. So he's not going to talk to, like things like that. You get it from context clues.
Yeah, but from my perspective, I don't think Star Wars fans would even want it to be the original trilogy because they'd be like, well, that didn't happen in the movie. No, but like Luke and Leia don't do that. Like, I really think that they would judge it more. So I'm like, I think the only way to go about this would be having new characters to hold on to.
Yeah, I don't think Disney really could have won either way. I
Exactly.
think they went the way they thought they could get more people to come and involved.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it works very well.
Yeah. So, Sarah, $1 million question. Do you think it's worth the price?
I mean, that's kind of a question that everyone has to answer for themselves. But I would say that for me, yes, because doing this experience, we were, flown out there by Disney. This was all through Disney that we got to do this, which is amazing. But
incredible.
Yeah, like something we never really expected, but it happened. And so we made the most of it. But doing this experience, it's like a drug high. Like you're literally like, you soak it up. You're like, oh my God, I'm in this story. This is amazing. And when you're done, you go through withdrawal. You're like, where's my weird looking food? This is a Cliff Bar. I don't want a Cliff Bar. I want a Yogan fruit whip. Like where are my characters? Like, where's my friends? You make friends over this 2 days and you go through withdrawal, like serious withdrawal. And you just want that hit again. And I
mean, we've experienced it just watching the videos.
Yeah.
We're like, who can put out their video next? Who can put out another video?
Who can I watch next? Like, come on.
Who can shoot it from a different perspective, And also we experience it daily with Disneyland and Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that brings you back. It's the serotonin that they put in your mind. Yeah.
It really is. And so we absolutely want to go again. I mean, probably next year, just because this year we have a bunch of conventions and things. We would love to do like kind of a skywalking cruise, like say, hey, we're going these dates and skywalkers, let's all go together. Like how
down.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome would that be to like,
Skywalking Network, let's go.
Yeah. And we can all be on different paths, but we'd like see each other like various times. Like that would be so cool. And another thing is, like Richard and I were initially looking at this, doing a whole cabin by yourself as a couple is like a lot of money.
It is.
But knowing now how much you spend time, how little time you spend in the cabin, it's like, dude, let's share, no problem sharing. Let's get that cost down. Just get yourself on that ship.
I think that me and Courtney are on board 100% for sharing a cabin and going on this cruise and getting the costs down on that cabin. But for a 2-night, it definitely seems expensive, but for what you're getting,
right?
It's so worth.
I know a lot of people have broken down what you've gotten, and you are getting way more than what you think you're getting, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
And I even mentioned like the final climactic show, which is a huge stunt show that takes place all around you. That's like literally worth the price of the admission itself. And that's like on top of all these other perks that you get. And the service is just fantastic. Like these cast members take care of you. These crew members, I have to say, passenger services are just like, they're just not even just the characters, but like everyone who works on that ship is so in the story. They all have their backstories. They're all from different planets. Like talk to every one of them. It's so cool.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of people liken it to concierge service on the Disney Cruise Line, which they all say is top notch. It's better than club level service at the resorts. Like Disney Cruise Line does it the best. Nobody does it better than them. And they say that Starcruiser is exactly like that. So.
I think if you're getting that level of service, you're getting that level of entertainment. They have to pay these actors. And I hope they're paying them fairly. You know, and they're not just cast members, they are actors. They are performers.
They're equity actors.
They're equity actors. So if that is the price tag that it has to be able to get the level of entertainment and service that they are providing, then I think that everybody has to make that decision to go or not. I think that it is doable if you can finagle something and make it happen. Now, I do realize that a family of 4 with kids and parents, that's a lot of money for a cabin for that type of family. So hopefully that you can figure it out. But
your whole entire family better be so into Star Wars.
And you really have to be willing. Like one of the things they said to us when we boarded the Starcruiser or right before was like, just be willing to play, like give yourself permission to play as an adult,
like basically be that kid in the candy store and just go. So I wonder how people will think about it when they've kind of experienced most of the plot lines multiple times.
I don't know. I think because I likened it at the beginning to kind of stepping into a Star Wars movie. I mean, there's movies you watch over and over because you love them.
Well, yes, true.
So
that too.
I think it's a little like that, honestly. Okay. Like it doesn't really matter. You just want to do it again because it's just so cool to be in that movie.
So that does lead me to the last question that I have for you, and I want to know, what do you think the future holds for this experience? And can you see Disney changing it over time? And how can it change and evolve?
I think it would be fun if they did try to incorporate different things like Life Day. Like think of the Disney cruises where you have the Very Merry Time cruise. You have the Halloween on the High Seas. And it's for
exactly
a period.
What I was thinking of. Is like,
it's for a period of time.
Could they do something where maybe you book a cruise and maybe it's a period where, I don't know,
Life Day.
Darth Vader comes back, or Life Day, or it's like, could they do that type of thing? Or maybe they have a special storyline or something.
They probably could, but because the story is written so intrinsic to the data pad, like storylines that split you, I think it would be very hard to retrofit it.
Okay.
Because I feel like everything is locked and it kind of works. And they've been workshopping this storyline for 8 months.
8 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if they added a different character or change out characters, like that would just throw a huge wrench in the whole works.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could theme certain things
Okay.
to like have an overlay of a Life Day theme or something.
And like Halloween does exist in Star Wars, right?
It does.
So they could do
Ewoks
that
had
as well.
Halloween. Yeah.
Ooh. And I mean, if you guys want to hear it from a cast member's point of view, there is a podcast called World of Diz Talk. One of the podcast hosts on there is a cast member on the Halcyon. So I firmly recommend listening to that one and seeing it from the cast member's point of view as well.
It was a good one. Thanks for that recommendation.
You're welcome.
Yay. Well, I was just interested because, in 20 years time, I don't know where we see this experience.
Right.
But time will tell.
Absolutely.
I want them to do more.
And you haven't even been on it. You're so
I know, but I want an Avengers one. I want a Disney one. If we could step,
I would be first in line for the Avengers one.
If we could step inside a Disney movie with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's the thing. Like, this is so off the charts, just so totally different. So like, this will push all the other theme parks, Universal with Harry Potter, like this will push other experiences like this.
But I do say that like Universal had the immersive thing on lock until Disney did something like this in Batu, because Harry Potter World was just the most immersive thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Disney had to answer with something.
Yeah.
And I think they did. I think they rose to the challenge.
Yes, they did. Woo. Oh, so if you guys want, please, on Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube, I have a whole playlist of Galactic Starcruiser videos that both came out on Fangirls Going Rogue and on our channel. And we still have one more video to do. So depending on when you listen to this, day 2 of Galactic Starcruiser will be done at some point. We shot so much. It's insane. You guys, insane.
Yeah, please go check out those videos. They are wonderful videos. They really do help you follow the storyline that's happening on the Star Cruiser, and they're great videos. You guys did an amazing job on that.
Yes,
and your Gaia video with the lyrics makes me cry every time.
Aww, me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And this experience just seems so out of this world, and me and Courtney cannot wait to book a trip. We are going to
already talking about it.
We are going to have to get through our trips that we already have planned, which is in June and January, but we cannot wait to go on the Galactic Starcruiser and just eating up the content these days.
I know. Yeah. I'm so excited.
And thank you, Sarah, for sharing it firsthand.
Yes, thank you.
So lucky, and we're so jealous.
Well,
happy for you and jealous all at the same time.
Thank you guys, and may the stars light your way.
And also Tabuite.
Tabuite, which is the captain's toast. Yes.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we have reached the end of another episode, but we really want to hear from you guys. You listeners, did you get to go to the Disney Princess concert? Do you have a favorite moment? Did you go to Villains Night? Or do you want to try Stromboli? Let us know. Are you thinking of a trip on the Galactic Starcruiser, and would you go on a Skywalking Network voyage? Let us know. Yeah. So head to Instagram at Neverland Clubhouse Pod to let us know all of that fun stuff.
Yes, and we also want to give a big shout out and thank you to Rob Dellinger for composing our theme song. To hear more of Rob's work and to see where he'll be playing next, please go to his website, alpharhythmkings.com.
We are part of the Skywalking Network, where you can also find other great shows like Skywalking Through Neverland,
Talking Apes,
Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics,
the Max Effects Podcast,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Today in Star Wars History
and Claptopolis.
And you can check out all the Skywalking Network podcasts and articles at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
You can find us on social media on Instagram at Neverland Clubhouse Pod, at CLT8622, at Kelly Turkel, and at Jedi Tink.
You can also find us in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. Just search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group, request to join, and then answer the questions that pop up. Do it, or we can't let you in. All right then, second star to the right and straight on till morning. Join us for our next adventure from the Neverland Clubhouse.
Tabooey Tay!
Tabooey Tay! May the stars light your way.